Now, okay?
Yes, yes. Oh, okay. Good morning.
Morning, good morning, good
Mhm. Yeah. How you been?
morning. I've been so good. Little cough.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I not. I'm feeling under the weather. A little under the weather. What do you-
So have you taken
Feeling,
kara and
feeling
homemade
under.
kara?
What do you mean by feeling under the weather?
Means I'm not feeling well.
Little, not something serious. I
Yes,
need
yes.
not go to a doctor. I'm little under the weather. I'm little under the weather. If you have
Mm-hmm.
like a headache, small cough, just
Yes,
so you say feeling under the weather.
yes.
Right, yeah, I'll try some kada after this. Yeah, it started in the morning. Like,
Mm-hmm.
sometime what happens is very hot over here. So what I do is like, I run the AC, then I go out, then come back, then run the
Mm-hmm.
AC. So maybe that's not good for the throat.
Yes.
And in the classes I have to talk and talk and talk. So there is no rest for my
Yeah.
throat. So how's otherwise? How was the weekend? What did you did? What did you do?
Weekend was good. And Saturday I went to DMart, and yesterday I went to watch movie.
How do you decide? Okay, what are the factors you see? The director or the actors? Is it the photography, or is it the language, or is it the genre, comedy, thriller, suspense, love story? How do you decide?
Actually, what happened? Day before yesterday, my niece went with my brother and my bhabhi, and at that time I went. I was not at home, so they called us, but I was not. We were not present. So we
Okay.
decided to go yesterday only.
Mhm.
So my younger brother told that let's today we will go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once you see a movie and if you like it, do you recommend it to your relatives, your friends, or you say something about that in the WhatsApp group? Oh, yesterday I watched 3-2. It's a wonderful movie. I strongly recommend you all watch this. You don't tell,
No, I
or
did not do.
you don't do
But
that.
yes, yesterday what I did, I encouraged my daughter to write what is your experience after watching the movie.
And she wrote,
Yes, she wrote, and she wrote very nicely. She
wow,
explained all things very nicely.
very nice. This is a good exercise.
And
This
what
is a
I
good.
and I just clicked the because she had written that in her rough notebook. So
Mhm.
I took the snap of that
Picture.
and told that, yeah, when I will connect with her, so I will read that. So she told her, no, 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 don't read it. Yes, many, but I told that it's good. Sir will also appreciate you.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
You can send
yes,
it. You can send it to me,
yes,
that
yes,
picture.
definitely.
I
I
can
will
I
send
can
you. Yes, I
I
will
can
send
I
it
can
today.
read that. So children, they should be encouraged to do such exercises.
Yeah.
You say something like, just uh, say something about that movie. What did you feel about that movie? What's your opinion about that movie? Because every day, in everyday life, we have to air our opinion.
And one question she asked me, I told her just write down whatever your experience with from home to the movie.
Mhm.
And so told that in which form I write, in the letter, means letter form, or what other thing also she was telling. So I told whatever you are means
No, you
feel
can.
from.
She can write it as an essay, like
Uh,
a recently watched movie. Your
hmm,
experience of watching a movie at the theater. You can write
hmm,
that, or write an email. Write an
hmm,
email to your bestie, to your close
hmm,
friend, about a recently watched movie. So the total tone will be different. It's
yes.
neither an essay, it is like a personal note sent
Hmm,
to an email sent to somebody. You can write in that, or write a WhatsApp text about that movie. So that will be little different.
yes, yes. So
So,
she wrote in the form of letter,
yeah.
as she wrote that means experience with her sister,
to
cousin sister.
yeah,
Yes,
to cousin she is
yes,
writing
cousin.
about her experience, like what was the theater experience, the travel experience, what did
Yes,
she do about during the interval, what all she did, and overall what was the movie experience. And finally you can say, so I strongly recommend this movie to you all. You must watch this, such a fantastic, enthralling, or it is such a thriller movie, and I hope that you, all of you, would enjoy this movie.
yes,
So so that slowly, so don't worry about that. She's not going to publish that anywhere. Only you would see that write
yes,
up, and you can guide her, you can correct
yes,
her, and slowly she picks up the art of writing.
yes,
Art of writing. Because what, if you are thinking of improving or working on your communication, all these small things, these are, we call it as baby steps.
yes,
This is your first step towards acquiring this language.
yeah,
As I've several times I've told you, like we are trying to learn this language. We have
yes,
acquired our mother tongue.
mm,
Our mother tongue we have acquired, but this language or any other language, we are trying to learn that language. So
mm.
what's the difference between acquiring and learning, Saraswati?
As Shreya is observing me, so she is acquiring this language.
Say once again.
As Shreya is
Mm,
observe me,
mm.
and day by day, means as sometimes she listen our conversation,
Yeah. So
and
she's trying to acquire
acquire. Yes,
this language.
yes,
Okay. Rather than learning, okay, I learned today, I learn about grammar. Today I learn about passive, active voice. Today I'll talk about or learn about tenses. So then I'll talk about parts of speech. So you are learning this.
mm,
And if you are learning, then there is a fair chance you forget many of the things you learned.
yes,
Imagine you learn something for your examinations. So you are quarterly, half yearly, annual. And after the exam, you forget it because your motive is to pass the exam. After
yes,
that, and
yes,
how many words you have acquired, and those words, even if you are not using, like water, sitting, jumping, sleeping, talking, eating, cooking, all these words you never learned through a Google dictionary or anything. You heard it,
yes,
somebody talking, and you acquired that. But
yes,
now you are struggling to learn some words. You are learning.
yes,
So the words you acquired stay with you.
yes,
That words will stay with you until you croak. But the
yes,
words you learn, you have to learn it in such a way that it should be kind of acquired vocabulary. The
yes,
words you acquired will stay with you. Otherwise, you can use it today, tomorrow you will forget it. Or after 1 week, if you want to use it again, you might be thinking, oh my God, there was a word for that.
mm,
What is that word? So again and again and again, you use the basic words which we are using while talking. These are all acquired vocabulary.
yes,
Similarly, try to acquire more words. So,
yes.
for acquiring a language, the basic requirement is input. You know what is input? What is input?
Input means that what we listen to and what we read.
Right. So,
Yeah,
input means what you
take.
allow to go inside your psychology,
Yes,
what you get to something to internalize.
yes,
So imagine a person who is starting to learn English. Most of our viewers, they are just beginners.
yeah.
There are three levels of English: A1, B1, C1,
Mm,
or A2, B2, C2. Or you can simply say A level, B level, C level. If you say a person is C level, that is advanced English speaker. He knows many things about English. He is good at English. C.
mm,
B is moderate. A is a beginner. So most of our learners, they are beginners.
mhm,
Okay. If I tell them, rule number one, don't learn that language, try to acquire this language.
mhm.
Okay. This is
Yes,
something everybody tells you acquire that language. Okay.
Yes.
Number two, how to acquire. Then
Mm.
they will tell you, or you get the answer. Try to listen a lot of English.
Yes.
Try to listen to a lot of English. This is way of acquiring it. Very good.
Yes.
Very good. So rule number one, acquire. Rule
Mm.
number two is to acquire, listen. Then they might ask you what to listen.
Mm.
What to listen. Somebody will say, okay, listen to BBC English. Somebody
Mm.
will say, listen to CNN English. What do you think about this advice?
If a person is beginner, so if that person will listen BBC news, so maybe he will not able to means understand. But if we listen like some stories, children's
Ah,
stories, so it will be easy to understand our cartoon characters.
so
So
that is called as comprehensible inputs, which is
comprehensible.
easily understood. Comprehensible input. When you listen something, that is input. If you
Mm.
read something, it is input.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you want to run a car, you have to input something. What's that? If you run a car, you
Yes.
have to input your petrol, your gas, your diesel.
Yes.
Similarly, if you want to speak, you have to input something, which is reading and
Reading.
listening.
Listening.
Output is speaking and writing.
Yes.
But this input should be comprehensible inputs at the beginning, easy inputs at the beginning.
Mm.
So we say, okay, learn the words, basic words. So if I say, okay, today's 5 words I give you:
Mm.
ignominious, magnanimous, dilettante, promiscuous, gumption. You
Mm.
understand anything?
No.
That's what I told you. It should be
Yeah.
comprehensible. आपको समझ में आना चाहिए 100%.
Yes.
So, what are such inputs is simple stories. Start with simple stories.
Yes.
Start with simple cartoons. Cartoon novels. You know, what is a cartoon novel?
Cartoon novels means in all the characters are cartoons and they will it means very easy sentences are there are means speech are there. So it's easy
Graphic
for
novel. What is a graphic novel?
graphic novel. No.
It's a novel,
Hmm?
and it is like, pictorial representation of the story. There will be
Okay.
pictures and there will be
Hmm.
small dialogues.
Small children read these. Huh.
Small children, they read this. Amar Chitra
Yes.
Katha. Amar
Yes.
Chitra Katha.
Yes.
And
Yes.
what the Shreya, what she reads?
She reads books.
I mean, normal books, regular books.
No,
Yeah.
regular books.
So that means she is like little bit advanced. She is B1 level or B2 level. So if you
Yes.
are starting with read cartoons, go
Yes.
with graphic novels where
Hmm.
it will be, there will be a picture and there will be small dialogues.
Yes.
So once you start reading this and you slowly acquire, that's why small kids, they watch cartoons, they read comic books, they read
Mm-hmm.
small story books. So all these amounts to comprehensible input, which is easily understood
Mm-hmm.
right from beginning. Okay, today I'm going to start my English fluency journey. Okay, let's start reading novels. Let's start watching movies. Let's start watching BBC News. Let's listen to CNN. Slowly, step by step. That's why
Yes.
always I say crawl before you walk, walk
Mm-hmm.
before you run. So
Mm-hmm.
read this, and if you're comfortable, then go to the next step. Then go to the next step. So once you start everything like 3, 4 months, then you become from A1, you reach B1 level. Then you be there in the B1 level. Then you can start little bit watching reading the newspaper, watching the TV news, and slowly build. And then you start. I mean, you come across some new words. The words you
Mhm.
have been using, that's all acquired words, and you start learning new words. And the more and more you use that words, then it becomes your acquired vocabulary.
Mhm.
So it is a long journey. It is a long journey. So
Yes.
we have to work it out slow and steady. Slow
So
and
yes.
steady wins the race.
Yes.
Okay, so try to read comics, storybooks. Don't feel that, oh, I'm 30 years old, I'm 35 years old, how can I
Mhm.
read comics, how can I read cartoon or watch cartoons? These are the baby steps for, and you see the
Yes.
difference. Everybody can see the difference, because we start, like, when a person, like, if I want to learn any new language, okay, Chinese, what is the first thing I do?
Like alphabets.
You start with the alphabet. You start
Yes.
with basic structure of the
Yes.
learn small sentences. So, but what we feel is, see, I know English. People feel that I know English, so I should start directly through an advanced mechanism.
Yes.
No, start from the scratch. Start from the
From the
A1
scratch.
level. Then
Yes.
you see the difference.
Okay.
Read a lot, listen a lot, speak a lot. Okay, ultimate goal is to speak. Ultimate goal is to speak. Okay,
And
now,
one question, how
please.
we get to know that a person is one A1 level or A2 or means A, B or C level?
Okay, so if you think about the technology, if we talk, we can easily you, you can easily uh, assess, evaluate, the way he speaks, the words he used, the grammar he used, the
Yes.
mistakes he makes. You can feel that, okay, he's A1 level. This is a simple, clinical diagnostic way. Like, if
Mm-hmm.
you talk to them like a doctor, without any tools, without any test, doctor can say, oh, this is cold, this is cough, this is you have some fever, and he will ask some symptoms. So from the
Mm-hmm.
symptoms, so he will say,
Mm-hmm.
clinically you have some infection inside, but evaluate what's my level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, they say we cannot calculate how many words we know. Like, if you know like around 3,000 words and less, we say you are in A1 level. If you know more than between 3,000 and 7,000, you are considered as a B1 level. If you know more than 7,000 English words, you are considered as a C1, C2 level. How many words we have? We have more than 7 lakhs English words. And if you know 7,000 words, you are considered as a good, at a higher level.
Mm-hmm.
So there are many ways, and it's a struggle. It's a struggle. Otherwise, what we do is, like, there are many people. I had a session just before. He says that in the whole day I speak like 15 minutes in English total. If you
Mm-hmm.
add up all the 1 minute, 2 minute speeches, it adds up
Mm-hmm.
to 15 or 20 minutes. And
Yes.
the rest of the time he speaks in Hindi.
Mm-hmm.
Hindi. And do you watch movies? Yes, of course. I watch Hindi movies. I watch Telugu movies. So what are you doing, man? If you have a burning desire to
Yes.
master this language, it takes time. It takes a lot of pain. No pain,
Yes.
no
No
pain,
gain.
no
Yes.
gain. It takes a lot of efforts. All right. So what about what comes to your mind when you hear the word journalism?
Journalist means one who um, give the news or
Okay.
write the, yeah,
Who is a
the
journalist?
journalist means a person who writes something uh,
Write something.
in
If
newspaper.
in the newspaper, he's a journalist. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Who else is a journalist?
Say the news.
Say is a news reader, or we can say,
Newsreader.
okay, journalist. Okay,
Yes.
then
Another
some news
anyone
reporters.
who writes something.
If you write something in the magazine or a
Yes.
newspaper, and sometimes when you see the watch the news, You can say, "Oh, this is Saraswati Humming Space calling, talking to you from Delhi airport, and he is giving you a news or something happened in the airport, or something happened in Kazakhstan, or something happened in Ukraine, or something happened in the US." They are called news reporters.
News
News
report.
reporters, news writers, news
Yes.
readers. What do you want to become? You want to become a news reader on the TV. You want to write some articles in the print media, or do you want to be a news reporter from ground zero? What is ground zero?
Ground zero means means to give the news from
Report
the
exactly from
live
that location.
that location.
That
Yeah.
location. Suppose there is a war. So many,
Yes.
like during the Kargil war, there were reporters from the ground zero. Means
Ground zero.
exactly when the war is happening, they are like now you can say there's Israel and Hamas war, or Russia and Ukraine war. You can see reporters reporting from ground zero. So the
Yes.
reporters, they gather news, they
Mm.
collect the news, okay,
Yeah.
they record the news,
Yes.
they verify the news, and
Mm.
then they report that news.
Yes.
Four functions of a
Yeah.
journalist.
Okay.
One journalist has to gather, collect.
Mm.
Gather means collect
Collect.
the
Yes.
news. Then sometime he has to record that for
Mm.
our TV or electronic media.
Yes.
Then they have to verify. Why we should a journalist should verify the authenticity, the veracity of that news? Why they should verify?
Yes, it's very important because if they give false or wrong news, so it's not good for them, and public will raise voice against
Concerns,
them. Yes.
alarms. No,
Yes.
it should, that is called as honest journalism,
Oh, yes.
truthful journalism, ethical
Yeah.
journalism. Just to get viewership or TRP, you are not hosting any kind of false reporting,
False news. Yes.
wrong reporting,
Yeah.
right? So we have journalism like print media,
Mm.
newspaper,
Yes.
electronic media, for example, TV,
Mm.
digital media, for example, like what news you get in the social media, everything is called digital media. Which one you like, Saraswati? Print
I
media,
like
electronic media, digital media, social media?
electronic media
Okay,
because
say more
there
on
we
that.
get the proper news, and social media sometimes we get false news also.
Social media, most of them is fake
Yeah.
news. Fake
Fake news.
news.
Yes.
Newspapers.
Newspaper is good because all written is all are means proper news and truth news,
Okay.
honest news.
Which newspaper would you recommend? Hindu, Indian Express, Times of India, Deccan Herald? Many English newspapers are there.
Times of India because at my home
You
Times of
recommend,
India.
strongly recommend, show it to the audience.
So,
So, yeah,
Times of
you
India.
read. This is a wonderful experience with
Yes.
Humming Space, aka Saraswati
Yes.
ma'am. She recommends reading Times of India.
And one more question: as I started to read newspaper and
Mhm.
uploaded one video also, means one I choose. Suppose if there is one news, so this part I choose
Yes.
and read. Suppose after reading, I got I get two or three hard words, and after reading the news, I give the summary of that news also. I am not able to miss speak directly. So what I did, I summarize the news, means what is the exact means in this article what they want to say. Very small, means simple words. I choose and write down and speak that. Along with that, two or three words meaning, and with two or three sentences also. Every do I decided to do
So you
every day.
can you can have a video of that